the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Welcome to the Spurs News Transfer Special. The Transfer Special is sponsored by new boy admin Ryan and his OnlyFans page. For plenty of sack and lots of his crack, visit new boy Ryan on OnlyFans. Now, here are your Spurs News hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Spurs News Transfer Special. I am Sam. This show is sponsored by new boy Ryan's OnlyFans. He is that successful, ladies and gentlemen, by being a little porno, and by little I mean it. Joining me to discuss admin Ryan's tiny penis and his OnlyFans page, it's Stefan!
Hey, good old typical Spurs, isn't it? We're like, yeah, we'll have the summer off, it'll be fine. And then they go crazy in like the first opening bit of the transfer window. And here we are doing a transfer special.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a day off, to be honest. But it's kind of nice that people want to know our opinions, though. Like,
opinions is not worth the $3.99. Sorry, Ryan.
It's $3.99. Wow, you got the like. You need to get his discount code. So yeah, it is. This is the transfer special. It is sponsored by new boy Ryan's OnlyFans page. If you know, you know. So I was very much the summer off. That was the plan. And then kind of got bombarded a little bit yesterday with messages saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And it's like, I was going to sit and I was going to reply to them. And I thought, maybe it's worth it to blow the dust off the mic and sort of give our opinions on what's happened so far and what the rumours are. So I wrote out a little agenda, and it's gonna be a fairly quick show. So we're gonna dive straight in.
Fairly quick, keeping on brand. I like it for this podcast.
Fairly. How do you mean, mate?
Oh, Ryan and his OnlyFans, it's all quite quick.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, it's kind of like blinking, you miss it, you know, or you got to squint to see it to start with. But yeah, so the intro, as you heard, is a transfer special. So let's dive straight in. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club signed 2 players before the window opened. I'm not sure I can remember us doing that.
I was going to say, do you remember the last time we were that proactive?
No. I mean, and what is weird is, like, it needed to be that. Like, you needed to be proactive.
Yeah, definitely.
This needed to be a window of real activity. But there's no part of me that thinks that that's what was going to happen or is going to happen still. And yet, so far, things are happening, and I'm like, all right, okay. Don't believe it. Okay, it's happening, but I still don't believe it. So,
and it's like the 2 players we signed, neither were unheard of wingers from France. Like, they were actually players that, as fans, we look at and we go, oh, okay.
We're still going to sign a plucky winger from Ligue 1. I can sense it. I can just feel it in my bones that at some point we're just going to default to our usual shit.
We're going to get linked to a Brazilian striker for the whole window and not sign him, and end up with un winger from France. Yeah,
nobody. Yeah, right. And so let's work our way through this. First up, Robertson signed from Liverpool, left back, Premier League experience with both Hull and Liverpool. Won 2 titles while on Merseyside, along with various other trophies. What are your thoughts on his signing?
He's also the captain of his national team, so he is a leader.
Yeah.
Something I think the squad desperately needs is a few more proper leaders in board.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with that signing. A player I have liked for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And okay, I know he's past his prime.
Yeah.
But as someone for Destiny to get pushed by and to learn from and a leader in the dressing room, yeah, that gets a double thumbs up for me.
A double thumb. Oh, you heard it here, people. It's a 2 thumbs up, which ironically is the title of one of Ryan's videos on his OnlyFans. But anyway, I really, really like the signing. It's one of those where there's some other stuff which we're going to come on to in a minute, which is kind of then confused me. But I looked at it and I was like, well, Udogie needs someone to rotate with. The kid is struggling to go a season and stay fit. Now, is that a case of every time he gets over a muscle injury, he's kind of forced back in, and therefore he's just constantly having these recurrences? Is it a case of actually he is just someone who's injury prone, and therefore maybe it's time for him to move back to a slower league? I think the only way you're going to fully know is when you've got a genuine rotation option with him. I don't think we've had that. I mean, Jed Spence can cover left back. I think he plays well there, but he is still a right footer playing left back, and it isn't a natural fit.
It worked under Ange with that whole inverted kind of fullback thing where he drifted inside,
agree, yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean,
think Jed was
with
Jed.
different managers and different styles. I think we need a out and out left back, and like you say, just to rotate with him, give him a chance. Cup games or something like that against a lower team. Put someone else in, let him have a break.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing about rotation's kind of key, and the way. If you think back to the Pochettino team, he had 2 fullbacks for both sides.
Yeah,
and he did rotate them because the width, the work that the fullbacks got through in that system was quite phenomenal, and it would appear, based on what I've seen when he was at Brighton, De Zerbi is very similar in that regard. Very similar kind of system, 4-2-3-1, what he prefers, but yeah, I mean, we're going to see anyway. But to me, it made a lot of sense. The second signing, I'm still not sure how to say his name. I think it's Senesi. Senesi. Oh no, if I say it that way, it sounds like a dwarf. Sneezy. Senesi, let's go with that. Marcus Senesi signed from Bournemouth, again on a free transfer. Both players out of contract. Both players signed by us. Now, it's an interesting one, this one, because I actually watched or ended up watching quite a lot of Bournemouth last season. There's a player there in the midfield who's from Bristol who I quite like, and he's a massive Tottenham fan, Alex Scott, and I want us to sign him. And anytime Bournemouth were on, I'd kind of make it my purpose to watch just to see how he's getting on. And the funny thing is Senesi stood out. He's a very, very good defender. Left-footed, left-sided central defender. It's like someone looked at our squad and went, the left side of defence is struggling.
Which is crazy when you think it's Van der Ven, who I think is probably one of our best defenders.
Which, yes and no, because if you think about the Van der Ven injury to his hamstring, which took him a long time to recover from,
it's that squad depth thing again, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and that's the thing, because we as a club have just seen injuries on a level which is unbelievable. I wonder when or if we add the squad depth or we have genuine rotation options, all of a sudden those injuries start to look a bit better. Or if we are going to see just a double squad get decimated, I don't know, but
can you imagine, this season we had 9 injuries. Next season we've got a full squad, 18 injuries.
Yeah.
What?
I really hope not, but yeah, there is part of me that's just like, maybe I shouldn't crow too much about this. Just keep your head down and shut up, Jones. But I'm really impressed with his signing. Robertson as well. Both on free transfers, both at the end of their contract. The club kind of were in talks with them ahead of time. There was that, okay, if you stay up, maybe. And obviously we did stay up. So I'm pleased with both. I think both will add a lot to the squad. And also both will push players. Like Robertson will push Udogie. It doesn't matter about his age. He isn't coming to sit on the bench. He is coming to push. And I think Senesi will be the same with Van der Ven. You let your level drop. I'm stepping in ahead of you, and you kind of need that.
You need someone. I remember under Pochettino, we had a little bit of time. I think it was Ericsson for a while had no one kind of challenging him at all.
Yeah,
and his level dropped. And I can't remember who we got in, but we got someone in, and all of a sudden his level shot back up again.
Yeah, it is interesting.
You need someone there. You need someone kind of knocking on the door, like, you know that last game where you screwed up? I wouldn't have done that.
Well, it's interesting, and I've said this before, like on my very, very limited experience of any sort of sport at any sort of level. I remember being like the big fish in the small pond, playing for my local club, rugby this was, and being so far ahead of everybody, you know, and that's not arrogant to say, it just was the truth. And then I went to like a regional setup thing, and I looked around and I was like, oh shit, I'm nowhere near the best here. I need to work. and I know that sounds really daft and almost arrogant, but there is a human element of, hey, I'm the shit, I'm going to coast. Do you know what I mean by that? Or is that just me?
Definitely. I've had that in football myself, where I've been playing for a small team, like a little village team or whatever. Yeah. And I was by far, I was the number 10 or the number 9, I was the striker. But I was, you know, the guy, everyone passed the ball to me, I scored the goals. Yeah. I then moved up from that team to like the team above and was like, why can't I even get off the bench? Yeah. Like, crap, this sucks. And then you go into training and you have to really push yourself in training. Almost as like, oi, look at me. And I think that is what some of our players need.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So
I'm hoping this summer is going to be a good season, like a good summer for that, and getting the right players in. And those two, I think, are a great start.
I agree. So both the confirmed signings, I'm very, very pleased with, as are you. Yves Bissouma has left the club. We've released him at the end of his contract. We had an option to extend it by a year. There were various rumours that clubs were interested and we were going to do that and then try and get a low fee. I'm pleased we didn't bother with that crap and we just moved on. Yves Bissouma is a frustrating player for me, where there is a great midfielder there, but his nightlife, his friends, his antics away from football really isn't a very professional thing.
I saw somewhere that he inhaled more balloons than he scored goals.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean...
He had more disciplinary bans than he did goals. It was like, oh...
Yeah.
That's not ideal. But
I'm also aware there was a lot of internal stuff that never even made the media as well.
Yeah.
So you're looking at probably 10 plus incidents a season over every season he was at the club of just him being fined for consistent lateness, or there was one instance on a tour where he missed a flight because he was hungover. Like, there's a lot.
It's like the guy's he's like a good vibe, but unfortunately in professional football that doesn't help.
Well, it's interesting because different managers have all fought, I think, at different times they got through to him. And Ange probably was the only manager that seemed to actually get him where he was like, you are going to be part of this group, and if you step out of line, you're in shit with me, but, you know, I love you and you're going to be part of this. And he seemed to buy really into it. If you look at the message from Yves when Ange left the club, he was devastated. And so, yeah, it's interesting how relationships can kind of get the best or the worst out of players. For me, I think my overriding thing with him is just frustration. Because you can see when he was on it, he would shield the back line on his own, like all game.
Oh, like that final, the final in Bilbao.
He came on and really did a job.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that you don't then see that. Like, you'd want to be able to say to him, like, look at this performance you put in here. Do this every week and you're an elite midfielder, world class. And I get the impression he was kind of like, I could do that, or, you know, there's a night out doing balloons. So, yeah, it's frustrating. The thing is, I don't think he's going to be short of offers. I think probably another Premier League team could pick him up, or he'll have offers all around Europe, because there is going to be a belief there that on his day he's a very good player still, and
so I can see him turning up at like a Brentford or a Bournemouth or even like a Crystal Palace, someone like that.
Well, he's currently being linked to go back to Brighton, which would be interesting. But I think managers, all of managers, have got that. I would say arrogance, but confidence about them that they think they'd be the one to fix it. Like, yeah, like every one of my exes, like I'll be the one that fixes him, and within a couple of weeks they're like, "Fuck, why did I bother?" But yeah, that's kind of Yves Bissouma. Any final thoughts on Yves? Wish him well.
Wish him well. Thank you for what you did do. He's a player. I like him as a player. Like you say, very frustrating because you always feel like you could have got more out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad he's played for my club, and I wish him luck and goodness for the future. Yeah,
good luck for the future years. Ben Davies has signed a new contract now. This shocked me.
Yeah.
And this links back into what I said earlier on, which is Robertson and Senesi signed, our left side greatly strengthened. I don't understand this move. Now, I want to say this up front. I really like Ben. He's a phenomenal professional, amazing servant to this club. I don't understand the thinking of all parties here. Like, I don't get it. Help me out.
Yeah, see, I know it was rumoured. You'll possibly know if this was true or not. It was rumoured that it was like a 1-year deal, but they were going to help him with his coaching stuff.
He's already done them all.
That's what I read somewhere, that he had done all his coaching. So therefore, when I saw that this deal was like, and we'll help you go through your coaching badges, I was like,
no.
I thought he already had them.
No, he's done. The guy's a machine. Like, he's got himself a degree. He's like, seriously, it's so funny. Like, footballers, like, you go to a footballer's Instagram, largely it's like product placement. Check out my holidays. Check out, like, I'm getting my hair cut. Check out this, check out that.
How hot's my wife? Yeah.
Yeah, you go to Ben Davies and it's like, hey, everybody, this week we're reading this book. And it's like, okay, Ben Davies book corner. Now, I like that, and I really, really like him. And I think if there was a Tottenham player there I'd sit down with and get on really well with, it'd be Ben Davies. But
it seems a strange deal for someone at his stage in his career to not want one last kind of contract where I'm going to go and play football for this season.
Well, this is the thing, because like I saw a lot of people say he's emergency injury cover, there's no problem with this. And I'm like, I kind of understand what you're saying, but if you work on the fact that the likelihood is, and we'll come on to this in a little bit, that there's a couple of defenders leaving. But if you work on the fact that we're going to have 4 central defenders, 2 right-sided, 2 left-sided, why are we putting Ben Davies as kind of like the 5th injury cover when you could have a Phillips or a Dorrington, young English, coming through, who could get that position, potentially get some minutes? Do you see what I'm saying with this?
Oh, completely agree, yeah. So let's just say, for example, that left-hand side, Van der Ven starting.
Yeah.
Marcos Nzzi is on the bench.
Yeah, they're officially now known as Sneezy.
Yeah. Marco Sneezy. Yeah. One of those two gets injured, we need someone on the bench.
Yeah.
That's where you should be looking. Like, for me, I think you should be looking at, right, who are the youth coming through? Who has the ability that if we do need them to step on for 20 minutes here and there, can do the job?
Yeah.
That's where someone like a Phillips or a Dorrington, you would think that is where they should be.
Well, Dorrington especially. I mean, Phillips, there's question marks, but Dorrington is like from the academy. You're far more likely to convince that lad, right, okay, we're keeping you around the first team this season. You're going to learn from these players. It just seems strange to me. I don't get it. And it's also a squad place being taken because of his age. As part of the 25 is being taken by Ben Davies. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I love Ben Davies. I think he's been an incredible servant to our club.
Yeah.
I like to think he gets a testimonial match. I'd love to go to that. Because if he can get back some players that he's played with, that'd be a fantastic event to be at.
Yeah, they don't really do that anymore, do they?
No, Ledley King. I went to the Ledley King one. There's not been one since.
No.
But yeah, at the same time, as much as I love him and I'm glad he's at the club because of his professionalism and everything else, I don't understand this one.
I mean, we talk about leaders in the group. I mean, he's the Welsh national captain currently.
Yeah.
So we got the Scottish captain and the Welsh captain. That's kind of fun. We're collecting.
We had the England captain.
We're like Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Okay, so another new deal went to Pedro Porro, our right back. He was linked heavily with a move to Spain. Real Madrid genuine interest, and the player signed a new deal and wanted to stay. Apparently, there's two parts to this. One is he genuinely loves the club, genuinely is really ingrained in it.
Poor
and wanted
bastard.
to stay. I know. You do feel for them because we're kind of born into it or forced into it, and when they arrive and fall in love with the place, you're kind of like, oh no, you're going to suffer now too. The other thing is ridiculously settled with his family, like really like where they live, where they are. It's like the human factor that a lot of people forget when it comes to signings and stuff, that sometimes it's like, oh, Real Madrid want to sign this player, he's gone. And I mean, even I was kind of like, oh, well, if they come in for him, it's back to Spain, he'll probably go for that. But no, he was very much happy and signed his new deal. The club do this annoying thing now where they won't give us the length of contracts, but luckily every journalist just asks the kid's agent and he tells them. So the deal, like, I don't understand, like, it's not logical, is it? Like, the club are like, oh, we're not saying, and it's like, okay, well, ask the agent. It's great, so now we'll publish it. It's like, it's
the club are just long-term deal, and you're like, oh, what's long-term? Because if you ask my ex-girlfriends, my long-term relationships were about 6 months. So what exactly classifies as a long-term deal?
Long-term, yeah. Well, it's till 2031, and there's an option for a further year even. So he is signed up for as long as.
Jeez, that's like a 5-year plus, isn't it?
Yeah. So he is on board, very happy. He also got a pretty significant pay rise.
That Phil helps.
I'm sure it cheered him up. Yeah. But I'm happy with that. I like Pedro Porro.
I do. I like him. He seems to be a good lad, and he was one of the people last year that still put everything into the performances.
Yeah, he was also emotionally exhausted by the end of the season. You could tell, like he cared. Like there's a few of them you could tell were a bit like, if we go down, I'll leave. He wasn't one of them. He was he put everything into everything, and when we stayed up, you could see the look on his face of just like, oh, I never want to go through this again.
This was a one and done deal for me.
Yeah, like we are with you. We are very much with you on that, my friend. He gets a lot of stick for what is perceived as his inability to defend. He is an attacking fullback, so let's make that clear. He is. In a system under a good manager, he will be used as like an offensive weapon, but he can defend. The thing he gets criticism for is his positioning. And the thing that I've tried to point out to people so much is it's not actually his fault. And I want people to kind of pay attention to this, so when we go into next season, they'll notice it. And I really hope whoever we sign in this role is better at it than the players we've had in the past. When a fullback goes forward, or when a fullback is there in a system to push forward, they will leave space in behind. So if the ball's turned over, opposition wingers will get into that space, and if they got the right players, they'll pick them out, and everyone goes, oh, where was Porro? Where was he? When you do that, your fullbacks are doing that, the defensive midfielder slots in. That is the role. Your guy who's the anchor literally moves into the right back position, or if the left back's gone forward, he moves into the left back position. And the central defenders also will move across if they're in a 3.
It was like Eric Dyer was an absolute boss at doing
He
this.
was a machine at that. When you had Walker and Rose bombing forward, the reason why Eric Dyer was so effective that season, so effective that everyone in the world went, oh my God, he's the best defensive midfielder ever. Remember Man United wanted to spend like 40 million on him?
Yeah.
He just did that perfectly because he was coached to do it. Pochettino grabbed him all summer like, this is what you were going to do. This is your role. You sit here, you defend this, you mark this. He goes, you slot in. He goes, you slot in. That's what you do. Don't overthink it. Just do that. And he did it brilliantly, and it meant that we were constantly covered. And since then, we've had players at different times do it, but their concentration goes. So even Palhinha, who I rate very highly as a defensive midfielder, was like he so many times he just didn't do it. And then there's gaps, and when there's gaps, everyone jumps on the fullback, and that's why he gets this, oh, he can't defend crap. But I'd encourage everyone to keep that in mind next season when you're watching, because hopefully there's something De Zerbi is going to address, because in his system, the fullbacks are very much our offensive weapons.
We need someone. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with what you say. I think we need to make sure we sign a player. Either sign a player, or if we bring back Palhinha, have someone kind of go through that.
Yeah, that needs to be coached. And the thing I will say about last season especially is the coaching level was fucking atrocious until De Zerbi came in. Now, look, I got a lot of problems with De Zerbi as a man, but as a coach, the way he turned things around, you can't question that. So that's kind of my view on that, and seeing what actually happens when the players are coached in a system and coached properly, we'll see what happens. While we are recording this, the news came out yesterday that we've had an offer accepted for Van Hecke, central defender, right-sided from Brighton, Dutch international, currently playing at the World Cup, very highly rated, worked with De Zerbi at Brighton. When De Zerbi left Brighton, by the way, someone found this the other day, Van Hecke's statement on social media was like heartbroken. Clearly loves the guy, thinks the world of him. So those two being reunited seems to be a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Him and Van de Ven, obviously international colleagues. I did read, and it did make me laugh. You got Mickey Van de Ven. You've now got Van Hecke. Tottenham won't be parking the bus next season. They'll be parking the van.
Hey!
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That was good.
I like that.
Tonali. We are being linked
yes.
with a massive, massive move for Newcastle midfielder Sandro Tonali, the Italian war machine, if you like. Now, this is a weird one, right? And I'm going to share this with the listeners. Me and Stefan like to play Football Manager, the game, or at least we used to before they ruined it. And we had a few years ago now, maybe 5 years ago.
I think it would have been.
There was a version of the game. We were both playing at the same time. We talk about players and stuff we'd sign. And I found this Italian midfielder, Sandro Tonali, who was a monster. And every time I had a Tottenham saved game, I'd sign him. He'd be my defensive midfielder for like 10 years, an absolute machine. And so when Newcastle, I think he went to AC Milan, I was like, oh, wow, that's that kid we used to talk about.
Yeah.
And then he went to Newcastle, and obviously he then got banned for gambling, which I was just like, oof, real life's a bitch when it comes to these players. But after his ban, he has been a consistent, very good player for Newcastle. And it's been kind of funny to me to see this player and be like, that's a player we used to talk about digitally. And here he is in real life, kicking ass in the Premier League. Now, all that being said, like this kind of weird kind of attachment to him and everything like that, I genuinely don't think he's worth the money that we're talking about here.
Yeah,
like,
they're looking at 85 to 100 million.
Yeah, now I don't see it. Like, you look at, they're pointing to the transfers of Declan Rice, the transfer which is going through of Anderson, most likely from Forest City, and they're saying he's better than them.
He's also not homegrown.
Yeah, which is the tax that people pay on
You want an English
level.
defender or an English player, you're adding 10 to 20 million instantly just for that homegrown quota.
Now, our club record transfer is around 60 million. It's just under when it's in sterling. And the idea that we are being linked this window with Van Hecke, we're looking at a deal of about 55. Savinho from Man City, a deal around 60. And now we're being linked with trying to sign Tonali for 85 million. It just doesn't seem
Don't
like
call me
it.
jaded, but
Oh, massively.
I just don't see us doing it.
No, and there's a lot of rumours that Arsenal really want him. And Arsenal, of course, will spend that money and have spent it in the past. They are looking to strengthen from a position of strength.
Yeah.
And the rumour is that the player's agent and everything have kind of leaked Tottenham's interest to try and get Arsenal to make their move and get on with it.
Oh.
This
always feels a little bit like, it's a dick move.
It's a difficult thing because if you listen to, Fabrizio Romano and all these people, it's like, yeah, the player's keen to join Tottenham, the player this, player that, Tottenham are there, they're really serious, this is a priority for them, and all this kind of stuff, and you kind of believe it. I'm cautious on this one. I am cautious because we've been burned before quite heavily, and I just don't.
I mean, last season, we had, two last season where we got the, here we goes, and neither of them joined our club.
No. So I'm not sure on that. Like the Savinho thing 2 weeks ago, player wants Tottenham, deal's nearly done, and now it's, Tottenham aren't sure, the player's not sure, like it's all drifting, and so, I'm just kind of like, I don't see us spending the money. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to think that they've actually learnt their lesson, but I don't think they have. Do you?
No. I like the fact this window we've already done 2 quick deals.
Yeah.
But they were free.
Yeah, and Van Hecke, I mean, the bid's been accepted, so in theory,
That should be a deal done because they've accepted the bid, so the player said to be keen, so let's tick that one off.
Yeah, so that one's... Yeah.
Do I see the club going again that quickly? No. And that's just from past experience.
It's not just quickly, it's the money side of it. Like, we have the money to spend, there's no doubt about that. We have the capacity and the ability to do it. It's the inclination. It's the drive, it's the desire.
And we keep seeing all these things coming out in the press. There was a thing came out about how the Lewis family are selling off valuable portraits because they realised they would have lost 250 million if we'd been relegated. So they're willing to spend that to stop them going down in that battle again. And I'm like...
Well, it's worth pointing out that was a minimum as well. Like, that figure's thrown around a lot. But that is basically 250 million loss in the first year. Like, there's no guarantee you come straight back up. And also, that's just literal money into the club loss. That doesn't equate to the loss in value of the club. It doesn't equate to all sorts of things. So, realistically, if you have a brain cell and you want to be successful, you do need to invest this window. Absolutely you do. But... we're 25 years into this ownership. I don't care that they've rebranded themselves as the same fucking people. There's nothing they've done in the past which logically says to me they're going to do it this time.
No.
But, hey, we will see. Maybe we'll have another transfer special soon where we're like, oh, holy shit.
We've signed 7 players. It's like playing Football Manager in real life.
Yeah, wouldn't that just be true? Now, outgoing rumours. The obvious one is Dragusin, who is very much surplus, especially with Van Hecke signing. He's being linked to multiple clubs in Italy. If you believe his agent, he's being linked to everyone on the planet, but his agent's a gobby bastard.
His agent is he's not, but he's fantastic because that guy just, do you own a football club? Yes. They want to sign my player.
Yeah, he's very confident. He's not shy. The other player linked heavily with leaving is Vicario. It's an interesting one, this, because it seemed pretty obvious the back end of last season the player was a bit disillusioned with the fan base, but not. He was still very much dedicated and invested and wanted to see the club stay up. He had kind of like an offer on the table from Inter, and it seemed to be heading in that direction, only for Juventus to show interest. The player's agent to kind of stall, and now Inter have gone nah, and Juventus look like they're looking at someone else as well. So it would appear that we're ready to say goodbye to Vicario. It does worry me that we're willing to do that, and I'm not hearing any goalkeepers linked.
No, we were linked for a while with Trafford, but it appears that...
Yeah.
I can completely understand where the Trafford camp is coming from. He got brought back to Man City and promised the number 1 shirt.
Yeah.
And then they got offered Donnarumma, and as any club on the planet, you get offered a player of Donnarumma's kind of ability, you don't turn around and go, oh, well, I don't know. If you get offered him, you sign him.
Yeah.
And I do feel a little sorry for James Trafford, who's like 3 games into the season, he's like, oh, I'm on the bench.
Yeah.
So him being a little anxious as to where he goes next, because he wants that. At his age, he's just lost an entire season of his career and development. He wants to be a number 1 goalkeeper. I was very, very excited by the idea of us signing him as Vicario's replacement.
Yeah.
But that all seems to have gone very quiet now, with him kind of wanting to get the World Cup out the way first.
Yeah, my understanding is there's at least 5 or 6 teams, and all of them are now looking at other options because the player's just not making his mind up, and clubs need to make plans.
I understand the whole, I'm at the World Cup, I want to focus, but at the same time, he's not the England number 1 goalkeeper. Like, Pickford is obviously going to start every game he's fit for.
Yeah.
He has time to negotiate.
And also it's not like the player himself does it. He's stalling, and I think that has put people off.
I don't know if it's a case of there's a certain club in particular that he's hoping comes in for him, or what.
The team that seemed to be linked heaviest with him at the moment is Newcastle, which I don't see as a great move.
Yeah.
I don't see as a great move for him. But anyway, so the other player linked heavily with leaving is QT Romero, the club captain. Kind of fell out with fans hard at the end of the season, but then did show up on the last day as kind of a, look, the club fucking told me I could take it off, but then I read how everyone reacted and I'm back. I can see all sides to that, because I think he was in his own little fucking bubble and he felt like behind the scenes he'd done everything right. But then obviously perception is reality. So the perception is he fucked off and left them all when he's supposed to be the captain.
I saw a lot of tweets this morning. Argentina played their first game of the World Cup last night.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And Romero started.
Yeah, of course he did, yeah.
And there was a lot of tweets from Tottenham fans popping up on social media about how, oh look, Lo Celso's worn his, it's like Lo Celso's planning has rubbed off on another Tottenham player.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Like, he was injured. It was a genuine injury, and he rehabbed it to make sure he was available for the World Cup. I don't begrudge him that. Like,
I'm just saying there was a lot of social media this morning I saw. I was like, oh dear.
Yeah, but there always is. I mean, he's like a lightning rod. But it would appear that this coming now. The thing that's annoying me the most is it appears he's going to be going to an English club. Man United are interested in him, Liverpool, and now Chelsea as well. So it's,
as long as it's not Chelsea. I don't want him going to another English club. I'd rather he went abroad. But not Chelsea.
It's the money side of it. Like, so Atletico Madrid won't offer more than 30 million for him. Man United are willing to pay 60, as are Chelsea. As we know, our owners are going to take that. So, yeah, there's that. The rumour mill extends to contracts, and Mickey van de Ven, after Pedro Porro signed his, the rumour is that Van de Ven is also quite close to agreeing a new deal.
Which that seems like a hell of a 180.
I mean, if I walk through this, Van de Ven was very close, enjoyed playing Ange Ball. Thomas Frank came in, and Van de Ven hated every fucking minute of it. I'm with him on that.
Join the club, buddy.
Van de Ven then, I think, has basically admitted this, and so I'm not speaking out of turn, suffering with depression. Didn't want to go outside, didn't want to be seen anywhere, didn't want to be doing anything. He talked about in an interview how he was so angry and depressed with what was going on at the club, he felt like he then couldn't go and do anything fun because he didn't deserve to. So that just turned into a vicious cycle. He was snapping, he was angry. I mean, he's still to a point now. Like, I watched him for the Dutch team the other day, the most laid-back people on the planet, and he's ready to kill everyone. But he struggled, like mentally struggled, and apparently De Zerbi came in, and one of the first things he did was just have constant one-to-ones with him. Like, after every training session, sat down with him, talking, and basically empowering him. Like, I need you. I need to rely on you. And you noticed it. All of a sudden, he was sprinting again. Like, all of a sudden, he was covering stuff again. It was like a kind of like a switch where he bought in, and it would appear that someone higher up in the club has also had a conversation with him along the lines of, we made a decision, it didn't work, we're now correcting that, this is the style of football, this is the way we want to go, you're a big part of that. And so he's apparently close to signing a new deal.
I can see, if Romero does leave, him being either captain or vice captain.
I mean, he's vice captain currently. Yeah, there's a possibility, definitely. Yeah, there's a few players in amongst those. So, look, there's so many rumours flying around constantly. Keep an eye on our Facebook page. On the Facebook page, you will see a post called Transfer Rumour and the details if we think it is something that's coming from a source worthwhile looking at. There are maybe 10 to 15 rumours per day which are nonsense, and so we don't post it. But I have mentioned that we might do like a summary of those like we used to. Like, look, this is everything that's floating around, take it with a pinch of salt.
The old traffic light one. Green, we believe it.
Yeah.
Red, clearly someone in a basement.
Yeah, it's clearly someone just tapping away. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. We will be back again to do another roundup before the season starts. But we wanted to just, like I said, do this today as a transfer special. Hopefully, and this is going to sound mad, hopefully in a couple of weeks we are back, because hopefully this rumours of activity is true and we are genuinely going to be doing these things. So that is the show. I do just have an advert read, because this show is sponsored by New Boy Ryan's OnlyFans, and the ad reads, for the price of a thong, come check out his tiny schlong. New Boy Ryan's OnlyFans. There we go. So everyone enjoy the sponsor. We will be back with another transfer special sometime in the summer. Keep an eye on socials for that. Until then, everybody, you all take care.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.